Tahara, welcome back to my channel. So I'm going to try this one more time. I think I figured out the issue. Every time I try to do a review about this book, it cut me off saying there's not enough storage. I tried to delete apps, and I don't have that many photos on my iPad. And I have like 3 videos, but I can't upload them yet because I don't have internet. So, but then I found out that the many videos I had deleted were still on there, so I had to delete those permanently. And now, hopefully, I should be able to do this video without getting interrupted or getting cut off, which I hope, because if I get cut off again, I will be extremely angry. So, I finished this book yesterday, which was October 3rd. I'm making this video on October 4th. I won't be able to post this video until tomorrow, October 5th, because I won't have internet until then. Hopefully I get internet tomorrow, but I should. So that's when I'll be posting this video. So I finished this book, and I rated it 5 out of 5 stars on Goodreads, because I loved it. So I'm going to tell you about the book. I'm going to start with the Lizzie and Daring moments, because they were so sweet. I ship Lizzie and Daring. They're my favorite couple, even though they never officially became a couple. They're still, I love them, and I can't help it. But even though I still believe they're canon, because they obviously have feelings for each other. You see it a couple times on the show, and in this book apparently too. There was like one moment in the beginning, one in the middle, and then like 2 moments in the end. So I can't find the one at the beginning or middle. So I'm going to show you the couple at the end. Let's see. Okay. I mentioned Daring smiling at Lizzie, and then Lizzie said a line from the play they were in at the beginning of the story. And then Daring laughed heroically and asked her if she ever listened to Katy Perry, which is their version of Katy Perry. And she's like, no, but you are my friend, and friends recommend music to each other, so I will give it a try. The thing about Lizzie is that she always believed from her mother. Her mother taught her that she can't have friends, that she can't show she cares, that and then so whenever she did think she was starting to care, she hated herself, thinking she was a disappointment. But then in this book she realized her mother was wrong, and it's okay to have friends and to care. So yeah. And then she told him to kneel, and Cedar was surprised to see Daring do so without argument, obviously, because Daring. Then she picked up a sword, touching its flat side to each of Daring's shoulder. I knight you, defender of Wonderland, Sir Daring, charming, heroic, loyal, fuzzy doom. And that was a really sweet moment. Now I'm going to read you my favorite moment between them. So in this scene, Lizzie asked Briar if she ever thought about being a pirate, because her mother had these playing cards and wrote advice on them for Lizzie to how to act queenly. And one of them said about not having friends unless they're pirates, which kind of confused her. But so Briar ends up falling asleep after the question, because she thought her Sleeping Beauty, and she tends to fall asleep in random moments. And then Lizzie Hearts, have you killed Briar Beauty? A voice asked from behind. Daring Charming sauntered up and saluted her. He had been so accommodating with her pirate request that Lizzie felt certain her mother couldn't disapprove their friendship. Aren't you supposed to be racing? Lizzie asked. No rush, she said. I always win, even when I don't. He winked at her. Ahoy, matey. See what I mean? They're just so adorable, and the fact that Daring did something like that, and it's just so, I love them. So so at the end of the last book, the Jabberwocky was free, so this book is basically him wreaking havoc, and He wreaked havoc a lot. he kind of was trying to turn a raptor into more Wonderland, you know, like things floating, you know, things talking and walking when they shouldn't, when they're supposed to be inanimate objects. But in Wonderland, you can never be certain, you know, things like that happen. It's still not exactly like Wonderland, but it is a little bit more. So, which made Lizzie, Maddie, and Kitty a little bit happy at first because they missed Wonderland and they were really homesick. And if you watch the show, you understand why they can't go home at the moment. And then people started changing. Raven, daughter of the evil queen, became a raven. Apple, daughter of Snow White, became Apple. Not all of them were that literal. Ashlyn, daughter of Cinderella, became a shoe. Hunter, son of the huntsman, became a tree. What else? Briar, daughter of Sleeping Beauty, became a rose bush. Daring, son of King Charming, became a little beastie. And then Cedar ended up pricking her finger right before the transformations all started happening. And she didn't think of it much because it always happens. She never cared if she was clumsy because she was made out of wood. She's daughter of Pinocchio. That's Cedar. And that's Maddie. I'm still a little upset Lizzie and Kitty aren't on the cover because they're two of the main stars too, especially Lizzie. Her and Cedar are like the main stars. But oh well. But she breaks her finger and then she noticed pain, which was weird. And then she looked down and noticed blood, which was even weirder. So and then she noticed she was transforming into a real girl, and she ran to find Raven, and then saw Raven and Apple's transformations into a raven and an apple. Then while that was going on, Lizzie, Maddie, and Kitty were already noticed that weird stuff was happening. So they were looking. Only a few people was able to escape was able to escape Wonderland before the curse happened, which was Lizzie, Maddie, Kitty, Maddie's dad, and I think the only other person that was able to escape was the White Queen. So they were looking for her because she was the teacher at Ever After, and hoping she had some explanation to what's going on. They could not find her though. She was there. Like a bunch of teachers took the students to different field trips, and their field trip actually came back earlier. That's why they're there. But she was gone at another field trip, and they didn't know when her, the other staff members, or the teachers, or the students would come back. So it was up to them. So Cedar ended up finding them, and the four of them had to work together to figure this out and stop the Jabberwocky. Right here explains a little bit what I was saying about it being like Wonderland, but also not. It's funny how I turned right to this page. It's not Wonderlandish at all, Lizzie said. She paused, afraid to admit there was something wrong, but that she couldn't just roll into submission. But the truth pressed up into her throat, and she let the words out. Ever After cannot be transformed into Wonderland, not even by magic. The Jabberwock tries, but it comes out wrong. A hybrid of two places, but being neither. A monster making monsters. Oh, and Lizzie, Maddie, and Kitty noticed that one of the reasons why they would notice something was wrong was because they started thinking more reasonable, and which was not right because they are from Wonderland. They're supposed to think insane and out of the box, not reasonable and sensible. So, and it kind of freaked them all out. At one point, even the magic affected the narrator, which I'm a little upset that Lizzie can't hear the narrator because she's from Wonderland too, but Maddie and Kitty can. Maddie ends up having to fill in for the narrator, which was difficult at first, but she figured it out. And then they were at the school and they were chased by a bunch of inanimate objects that came to life, and they were trying to find a way out when all of a sudden they see a red heart-shaped door, which looked identical to the one Lizzie had in her room, which was a magic door that whenever she walked through it, she appeared in the Wonderland Grove, which was a place she created to feel a little bit more like Wonderland. Wonderland plants and stuff, and hedgehogs, and it made her feel more at home. And then, so they ran through it, and then they were away from the Jabberwocky, who was chasing them, because the Jabberwock is losing power, and the only way to become stronger is to drain stuff from Wonderland. And that's when Cedar realized that means Lizzie, Maddie, and Kitty. That if he drains them, he'll become more powerful, and they'll become weaker. So they were at the Grove, and they were trying to decide what to do, and then they needed to find, what did they need to find? They needed to find the only thing to kill a Jabberwocky was by the Vorpal sword. And, but it's in Wonderland. But if Cedar, who's an artist, can paint then maybe they can reach through the painting, but they need to know the exact description. So they needed to go to the library where there are Wonderland books, and for them to find the exact picture, so Cedar can draw it, and then maybe they can take it out. Luckily, Lizzie, to feel at home a lot of times, knows where every Wonderland book is, so she can look at them whenever she feels homesick. So Maddie and Lizzie decided to go, and Kitty decided to fill in narration through what Cedar's doing, since Cedar and Lizzie are the two main stars of the story. So Maddie and Lizzie decided to go to the school. They had to kind of try to they had to be very careful that the Jabberwocky doesn't see them. But they managed to find the book and come back, but they were being chased by something when they went back to the Grove, and something had ate the book. Luckily, Lizzie had read the description, so she knew exactly what it looked like. I think it was Lizzie, or it might have been Maddie, but one of them. And they told Lizzie, I think it was Lizzie. So Lizzie told Cedar exactly what it looked like, so she drew it, and then Lizzie was able to reach through the painting and grab it, and it fit perfectly in her hand. So now they just need to find a way to kill the Jabberwocky. They have to decapitate it with the Vorpal sword, and Lizzie had to do it. With her being the princess of Wonderland and all, it was part of her destiny, I suppose. So then the Jabberwocky finds them and drains and they run off as it drains the Wonderland from the Wonderland Grove, becoming a little bit more powerful. So and then the Mad Hatter notices the girls, so decides to distract the Jabberwocky. And then Maddie gets all upset, and they have to stop her from running toward him because they need that distraction. Let me see. The dad got kidnapped, Maddie's dad, and Lizzie's like, no, we need to free the Jabberwocky first. And then they were like, we need to free Maddie's dad first. And then she realized that she cared, and she felt bad for Maddie, and so she's like, of course we'll free your dad first. But they end up back at the school, ready to fight the Jabberwocky. And Daring, the little beastie Daring, it helps a little, but he can't do much, and she's like not full his size. But Lizzie gives him this butter knife she keeps with her at all times, which was more of his size, so he can use it. And I think he stabs Jabberwocky. He doesn't do much, but it makes him angry. And so Lizzie tries to fight the Jabberwocky while Cedar tries to free Maddie's dad, and she's distracting him so Cedar can free the Mad Hatter before Lizzie actually strikes. And then at one point she cuts off the tip of his tail, and that makes him really angry. Cedar finally manages to untie Maddie's dad, the Mad Hatter, and Daring helped Cedar free Maddie's dad, right? They find out that the Bulbasaur crossed through the air and made a slice, and it was a portal back to Wonderland. And Lizzie got pretty Lizzie got pretty hurt in the battle. The Bulbasaur swung to her when Kitty picked it up, and before giving it to Lizzie, said, "Promise you'll use it to take us home." And then Cedar's like, "You're not gonna leave us, right?" And Lizzie thought for a minute, what if I do just go to Wonderland? But she was like, I can't just leave ever after like this. I can't leave my friends. So she gets the Bulbasaur back and goes out to Jabberwocky again. She doesn't end up killing it. Instead, the Jabberwocky was about to swing his tail at Maddie, so Lizzie pushed Maddie out of the way, and the Jabberwocky swung the tail and hit Lizzie really hard as she flew. And I'm pretty sure she went unconscious for a little bit too. But and then Maddie had, since the person who was supposed to defeat Jabberwocky no longer can, Maddie had to improvise, and she went against the narration rules by narrating what isn't happening to make it happen. So she used her narration powers to make the Jabberwocky go into Wonderland and then close the portal behind him. And then everyone started coming back. Everyone started becoming themselves again, and Cedar became Wood again. And then they were all talking. Then Lizzie and Daring had their cute little moment. Before they had their little moment, it says, Lizzie was standing and didn't show any obvious injuries from the Jabberwocky's striking tail, but she looked dazed. "Hey Lizzie, are you okay?" Cedar asked. "I think I am generally sprained and significantly bruised, but yes, I am okay." Shuffle perched on her shoulder, squeaking. "Yes, Shuffle, as long as the girl is okay too." "Oh, Thumbersticks, that's right," said Cedar. "Do you think the unmagicking fixed it too?" "I hope so, but if not," Lizzie looked down at her shoes as embarrassed. "At least I still have my friends," which surprised everyone. And then Cedar's like, "I'll help you, Lizzie, we all will." I think I missed something. Oh yeah, Briar, okay, here is, before that, Lizzie was still lying against the wall, but she straightened and lifted her fist. She watched Briar performing her signature fist bumps with friends, and so knew what to do. She knocked her knuckles against Briar's, opened her hand, and then rained wiggling fingers down in a representation of a glitter bomb. She couldn't quite suppress a pleased giggle. That thing was going to eat me," said Briar. Oh yeah, Lizzie stopped it from eating the rose bush, and so yeah. Actually going to gobble up my roses, and you will do some seriously extreme moves with that sword. I never knew you were so royally fabulous, and I never knew that I bothered to save your life." Lizzie cleared her throat. "I do not regret it." "This is so wicked cool," said Briar. "Friends?" Lizzie blinked. She looked at Briar and then Cedar and Maddie and Kitty. "Friends would be aces," Lizzie said. Let me find. So yeah, Lizzie was better. Injured, but better. And then some dust went over everyone, and everyone fell asleep except for Maddie. And when they all woke up, no one remembered what had happened. They knew something happened, but they don't remember what. And Maddie's the only one that remembers the journey, and since Maddie's been out there, no one exactly believed her that it all happened, thought it was just a dream, that Maddie was taking it a little bit too seriously. Hey Lizzie, said Cedar, you know, I think I dreamed about you. Lizzie closed one eye, squinting at Cedar with the one that was painted with a smeared red heart. I'm a princess of Wonderland. Many dream of me, she sniffed, but I think I dreamed of you too. So yeah, no one would exactly remember. And then the last chapter is called Accidentally Becoming Friends, and it's the moment of this tiara-thalon thing. And they were doing these races to see her won, and then they would end up in Lizzie's Wonderland Grove, and they would all help her fix it. And then Lizzie and Briar have a nice talk and become friends, sort of. And then that's when the whole Lizzie daring pirate thing happened, which was adorable. And then after that, Cedar had a talk with Raven about her always thinking she wasn't normal and stuff. And then Raven's like, look at this person who does this, look at this person who does this, none of us is normal. Let's see if I can find an example. Let's see. I am the daughter of the evil queen who rampaged and tried to destroy fairy tales, and half the school thinks I'm more evil than her precisely because I'm trying not to be. Apple is perfect, and isn't that kind of weird? She never sweats. Have you noticed that? And all of the birds, it must get old having birds constantly landing all over her and pecking her adoringly. And why doesn't she ever have... Yeah. When Hopper there gets tongue-tied, he turns into a frog. Briar's so determined not to miss a second of life before her 100-year snooze that she stays up all night and then is napping randomly all day. Holly's and Poppy's hair grows like 20 feet a day. Cerise never takes off her hood. Ashlyn is all nature girl and one with the animals and trees unless you wave a pair of new shoes at her, and she absolutely loses her mind. Every time Hunter strikes the heroic pose, trumpets play a fanfare. Invisible trumpets. Who plays them and why? And how? And I don't even know how to mention Maddie. So you're made out of wood and can't tell a lie. So that's a little weird. Look around. We're all weird. And I like that. Because that was the truth. And it made Cedar feel better. And then in the epilogue, Maddie talks to the narrator again, like usual. And then the Chief Chronicle talks to her, and she's afraid she's going to get in trouble for breaking narration rules, and she keeps stammering, saying this and that, and I'm sorry, but I did this, but I had to because of that. And then the narrator explains that the Chief Chronicle is not angry with her, but grateful, and the Chief Chronicle awards her a something that only narrators ever got, which was like a Medal of Honor, I guess. And then all of a sudden, she starts floating in the air, and people were used to her talking to herself, so no one thought much of it until she started going in the air. Then everyone looked, and they all knew something had happened that only Maddie seems to remember. And then that's the end. There's the acknowledgements. And then about the author. And then it shows you about the Monster High Ever After High crossover, The Legend of Shadow High, which I mentioned recently in one of my videos, which I'm going to read this month. Reread. So yeah, that was this book. It was really good. It was really sad to see Lizzie get hurt so much, but it was nice that she sacrificed herself to save Maddie. But they all managed to win at the end of the day, like usual. And it was a really amazing story. I loved it. My favorite of the series. I mean, I still have the 4th book, which I just started. I'm on. Well, they don't have chapters, but they have just sections. But I already read a little bit of it. but I do highly recommend this book, and I think you guys should all give it a check. You all should check it out because it is amazing. And if you're a Lizzie and Daring fan, then you're obviously going to have some amazing moments between the two of them. And then if your favorite characters are the Wonderlandians, Lizzie, Maddie, and Kitty, and if you also like Cedar, then they're all main stars, and which is amazing. And I loved it. And yeah, so that's it. Please like and subscribe and comment what you thought about this book. And I will see you guys later.